Welcome to this tutorial on using the PIAAC databases. This is the second video on a three-part series describing PIAAC. PIAAC's purpose is to assess the skills of the non-institutionalized population of adults aged 16 to 65 residing in the country at the time of data collection, irrespective of nationality, citizenship, or language status. The normal territorial unit covered by the OECD surveys of adult skills was the country as a whole. The US in particular included additional samples: incarcerated adults ages 18 to 74. It also oversampled unemployed adults ages 16 to 65 and young adults ages 16 to 34. It also included older adults ages 66 to 74. So you will see that when using the PIAAC data, if you're using the US data, you will have to select out the adults that are not comparable internationally. When selecting adults to participate in a study, the requirement was to cover at least 95% of the target population. There were limited exclusions allowed of groups in the target population, and this was limited to hard-to-reach groups such as populations of remote and isolated regions. The minimum sample required depended on two variables: the number of cognitive domains assessed and the number of languages in which the assessment was administered. Participating countries had the choice of assessing all three domains or assessing literacy and numeracy only. The minimum sample size for one language required 5,000 completed cases when all three domains were assessed, and 4,500 cases if only literacy and numeracy were assessed. A complete case is defined as an interview in which the respondent provided answers to key background questions, these being age, gender, highest level of schooling and employment status, and completed the core cognitive instrument. In the US in particular, there were several rounds of data collection. The first round, or round 1, took place in 2012, and that was part of the international data collection. There were about 5,000 adults aged 16 to 65. In 2014, there was a second round called the supplement to the 2012 data. At this time, there were 3,600 adults ages 16 to 74. There was explicit oversampling of young adults aged 16 to 34. There was oversampling of unemployed adults aged 16 to 65. And there was an expanded sample to older adults ages 66 to 74. This data collection was to be used only in combination with the 2012 data, so there was no intention of using the 2014 data as a separate sample for analysis. Round 1 and Round 2 data are combined into a single data set of about 8,600 adults. In a separate video, we show you how to access and download this data for analysis. In addition, there was a third round of data collection in 2017, where about 3,800 adults aged 16 to 74 were surveyed. This file is to be used by itself to measure trends year over year from 2012 to 2017, or in combination with the 2012 and 2014 data. These data are available from the NCES PIAAC website. The last set of data collected was a set of from the PRISM data. This was also collected in 2014, and this sample included 1,300 adults aged 18 to 74. This is a nationally representative sample of incarcerated adults detained in federal and state prisons in the United States. PIAAC was administered mostly on computers. As we see from this graphic of the assessment design, participants were first required to answer a background questionnaire. As part of the background questionnaire, they were asked if they had computer experience. If they did, then they had to respond to a core set of items. If they failed this set of items, then they were routed towards a paper and pencil version of the assessment. If they passed, then they received more items on computers. And if they passed this second stage, then they received items in literacy, numeracy, and problem solving using a random assignment algorithm. Results on the PIAAC assessment are reported on a scale that ranges between 0 and 500. Test takers and test items are located on the scale in terms of their proficiency and their difficulty, respectively. Scores assigned to respondents were in the form of plus-hole values. More on this in a separate video. And proficiency levels are defined for each of the domains. Here we have the proficiency levels defined for numeracy and literacy and for problem solving in technology-rich environments. The technical report contains descriptions of each one of these proficiency levels in terms of what is it that respondents are able to do when they're located in one of these levels. Thank you for watching. For more information or comments about these videos, please write to egonzalez@ets.org. Thank you.
This video was made possible by the Institute of Education Sciences of the U.S. Department of Education, through Grant R305B160020 to Educational Testing Service. The opinions expressed are those of the authors and do not represent views of the Institute or the U.S. Department of Education.